Hey, what's going on, guys? The Horror Man back with day 4 of my challenge. And today's theme is Skintastic scenes. Alright guys, so for today's theme, I'm looking for memorable scenes featuring, you guessed it, skin, nudity, all that good stuff. Don't be ashamed, guys. Come on, we all enjoy it. You know you do. I'm not doing this to offend anybody, so if there are those of you who are uncomfortable talking about nudity for whatever reason, because I know there are some people out there like that, you can also do funny responses for this too. I mean, there's plenty of nudity in comedies as well that is used for humor purposes and to get a laugh. So if you guys feel more comfortable showing a funny scene or talking about a funny scene, I should say, that features nudity, then do that. But being horror fans and movie fans in general, we get to see a lot of nudity on the screen. It's just inevitable. It's very rare, to watch, say, 3-4 movies in a row without seeing at least, a nude scene in one of them. Nudity seems to be a big thing that, in movies and even TV shows, nowadays, especially on HBO and Showtime and stuff. So, it's out there. There's plenty of scenes to talk about. Some are a lot more memorable than others. As I said, if you guys feel uncomfortable talking about, certain, nude scenes, it doesn't have to be, in a sexual manner. It could be, used for slapstick comedy. It could be, a naked death scene. There's plenty of those in horror films and stuff. But just some type of memorable, nude scene that really sticks with you for whatever reason. It could be because of the actress, because you're a big fan of the actress, or actor, I guess, for that matter. Either way, whatever you guys choose to talk about. But yeah, as I said, again, I'm not doing this video to offend anybody. I just thought it would be an interesting topic to discuss, since nude scenes are a big part of movies, especially horror. I mean, I have a lot of horror DVDs that I buy, specifically Anchor Bay titles, that right on the back it says that that is jam-packed with the gore, kill scenes, and gratuitous nudity. So it's always a big selling point for a lot of movies for some people. So I just thought it would be an interesting topic to talk about in this challenge. So since there are so many different options for this one, I'll be talking about a few titles. First one I want to mention is Fast Times at Ridgemont High. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. I want to give a quick shout out to Mr. Snickers 21. His name is Bill. He's a great guy. If you guys haven't subscribed to him, please go do so. Check out our channel, subscribe. He could use your support. He's been participating in my challenge for the last 3 days, and his day 3 choice was from Fast Times at Ridgemont High. His music moment was the scene I'll be talking about right now, and it's of course the scene featuring Phoebe Cates' character coming out of the pool. She takes off her bathing suit top and walks in slow motion towards Brad, played by Judge Reinhold. Of course, it's all Brad's fantasy, but it's such a classic scene, and definitely the most famous scene from this movie. I'm sure you guys would agree. I've actually read that it's considered to be the #1 greatest nude scene in movies of all time. So, that's pretty cool. I know I'm not alone in feeling that way. But I used to be a big fan of Phoebe Cates growing up. Used to really enjoy watching her movies. Gremlins, Gremlins 2, Drop Dead Fred. And, I gained quite the crush on her after watching Fast Times at Ridgemont High and Private School, Paradise, movies like that. So, yeah, really great scene, and I definitely had to mention that one. Next one I want to mention is Chloe. I'm a big Amanda Seyfried fan. I've said that before. And if you guys are Amanda Seyfried fans, then this is definitely one to check out, because she shows a lot of skin in this one, and she plays, a different character than she normally plays. Normally she plays, either the ditzy blonde like in Mean Girls, or she plays the innocent girl or the good girl like in Jennifer's Body, for the most part anyway. Then she plays in her love story movies and all that. But there's a lot darker side to her in this movie, and it's definitely worth checking out. Now, I wanted to mention a few horror movies, of course. So first one I want to talk about is Return of the Living Dead 3, one of my favorite horror sequels of all time. I'm not talking about the sex scene early on in the movie, but I'm talking about the big revelation scene, when she first comes out of that room and she has all the glass in her face and, the metal and the spikes and piercings and all that. Such a classic scene, and I've always remembered that scene so clearly, and she is definitely the hottest zombie of all time. Now, the next one is sort of a funny moment, but it is in a horror film, and it's in Phantasm 4, Phantasm Oblivion. And it's, of course, when, Reggie's in the hotel, or the motel, with the girl that he picks up on the road, and, she's asleep, and he's unbuttoning her shirt, thinking he's going to get to see the goods, and just as you think is going to zoom in on her chest, it sure does, and in place of where her boobs would be, of course, there are the two spheres. It's actually one of the images I have in one of my intros to some of my videos. So it opens up her shirt, and there are the two spheres right where her boobs would be, and they come out of her chest and start flying around the room at Reggie. Just a pretty funny scene because you're expecting the big money shot, and of course, you're left with seeing these two metal balls instead. So definitely an interesting scene and pretty memorable in my mind. Now, I'm going to mention this one. You guys know I had to. I'm a huge Danielle Harris fan. I mean, come on, this was her nude debut in Rob Zombie's Halloween, so definitely had to give a mention there. But this is a pretty crazy scene, with Michael chasing her around the house and basically stabbing her while she's naked and helpless. I mean, it's a pretty crazy, pretty brutal scene, and I guess the same could be said for Rob Zombie's Halloween too, since technically she's naked in that too. While we don't get to see that, she's kind of running with her robot and stuff. Unfortunately, when they find her body, she was killed when she was naked again. So I'm not sure what the deal is with Michael going after naked Danielle Harris and naked Annie in this. So, but whatever, works for me. Next, I gotta mention these two because being a huge Dawson's Creek fan, I just had to do it. And first is Incendiary. You get to see Michelle Williams good in this one, and a very great scene, very lengthy. And then, of course, The Gift, directed by Sam Raimi, Katie Holmes. Come on, great scene at the end of this movie. They actually mentioned this scene in Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle, if you guys remember correctly. The two friends, I forget their names, are sitting there watching The Gift specifically because they heard that Katie Holmes had a nude scene in it. So, it's a pretty funny spin on it. I kind of think of that every time I do watch this movie, but definitely a great scene, and Katie Holmes does not disappoint. And finally, I did want to do a TV pick as well. So my pick for TV is Weeds, and you got the gorgeous Mary Louise Parker, of course. She is definitely one MILF. I mean, she is the definition of MILF in my mind. And I specifically chose season 6 to talk about because there's a scene where she has a sex scene actually with Zach Morris from Saved by the Bell. So that's a pretty memorable scene for me. She shows a lot of herself in that scene, and I definitely wanted to mention that one. So yeah, those are my picks for my Skintastic scenes. As I said, guys, I'm not doing this to make anybody feel uncomfortable. So if anybody is uncomfortable with talking about nudity, then I apologize. But just have fun with it. Laugh about it. As I said, if you guys want to show more comedic scenes, be my guest. That's fine. Scenes like There's Something About Mary, for example, comes to mind. Where Matt Dillon's trying to spy on Mary, on Cameron Diaz's character, through the windows, and he gets those giant binoculars and looks in the window, and he ends up seeing the old lady naked instead. Scenes like that. If you guys don't want to talk about, sexual nudity scenes, as I said, talk about some funny nude scenes, or even, nude naked kill scenes. Those are fine as well. So, yeah, I just thought it would be an interesting topic. Hopefully you guys agree. Post your video responses, and this is day 4, so a couple more days to go, guys. Thanks a lot.